Hi Firsties, this week I assigned a few more pages from our Your Turn workbook, and to make sure you're all prepared to complete those pages, I'm going to show you some information in our Wonders book. So I'm just going to introduce us to this week's essential question. We're also going to take a look at some words that end in the long E sound and the different spelling patterns that make the long E sound. Then we're going to look at a story, but before we look at that story, I'm going to introduce you to some vocabulary you're going to see in that story so you know exactly what's going on. So thanks so much for coming to hang out, and stick with me while we go through this week's Wonders unit.
All right, firsties, like I mentioned before, this week we are talking about animals and how they work with people. So our essential question this week is, how do people work with animals? Look at this picture. How do you think that animal or that dog is working with that person? What could they possibly be doing? To me, it looks like this is probably a avalanche rescue dog. So if people get buried in the snow, this dog helps them rescue them. So take a moment to maybe pause the video and think about, how do animals work? How do the animals you know work with people? Or how do people work with animals? Have we seen animals that help guide maybe blind people? Maybe some of you have seen animals that help us to hunt, or we've seen animals on farms like horses that can help us do different things. So take a moment to think about, how do people work with animals? I also wanted to introduce our phonics and fluency topic this week. So here it says the letters Y and EY can make the long E sound in puppy and key. So do you see how puppy ends with Y? And do you hear the long E sound when I say pup-E? We also have key. Do you see how key ends in EY? And we hear the long E sound at the end of key as well. Let's take a look at some more words that end in Y and EY and have the long E sound at the end. So we have lucky, buddy, easy, grassy. Do you see how each of those end in just a Y? Here we have Allie that ends in EY, Mickey ends in EY, and they also have a long E sound at the end. We also have Penny and Valley, sunny, sleepy, or sunny, city, sleepy, and healthy. So each of these words all end in Y or EY, and they all have the long E sound at the end. Let's take a look at some sentences that use words that end in the long E sound. Did you lose your key in the alley? We walk Ziggy when it is sunny. So do you see how key and alley both end in EY, and they have the long E sound at the end of them? And do you see how Ziggy and sunny both end in Y, and they both have the long E sound at the end of them as well? Try and think of other words that end in Y or EY that end in the long E sound. All right, firsties, before we jump into our story, remember that our essential question is, how do people work with animals? And let's take a look at some vocabulary words so we can make sure that we understand every word in our story. Our first word is found. The dog found a bone. You can see the dog looking for a bone in the ground here in that picture. Hard. The horses are working hard. So here we see horses pulling a plow. Do you think that would be easy? No, I don't think so either. So if something is not easy or it's difficult, it is hard. So the horses are working hard here. Near. The dog is near the trainer. So near is another word for close by. So the dog is really close by that trainer's leg. So he is near the trainer. Woman. The woman walks the dog. So we can see a woman up here walking her dog. Would. She would like to ride. So it looks like this girl would love to ride her horse. Write. She will write what we need. So this write is a word that we use to describe writing like with a pen or a pencil. So she's probably going to write what kind of medicine that cat needs to stay healthy. clever. This bird is very clever. So clever means smart. So we could also say this bird is very smart when we say this bird is very clever. They both mean the same thing. Signal. The trainer gives a signal. So here it looks like the trainer is giving the dog a hand signal by saying stop, like that. We could also use a whistle or a different sound to give a signal, or we could use different colored lights. I know when we're driving, we see red lights mean stop, and we know that green lights mean go. All right, let's take a look at our story now. Let's take one more look at the essential question. Essential question is, how do people work with animals? And our genre is nonfiction. We know that fiction means that it is made up, so nonfiction means that this story is all about real things in the world. And remember, as always, the name of a story is called the title. So the title of today's story is From Puppy to Guide Dog. Most dogs are pets, but some dogs help people. What is the key to making a dog a good helping dog? A buddy to be. Mickey is a cute and clever puppy. He runs, jumps, and plays. One day, when he grows up a bit, Mickey will be a helping dog. He will be a daily buddy to a person who cannot see. So remember, clever means smart. So Mickey is a cute and clever or smart puppy. Helping dogs are called guide dogs. To be a guide dog, a puppy must be bright. It cannot be lazy or fussy. The puppy will need to learn many skills. A new home is found for the puppy when it is 8 weeks old. Fact: most guide dogs are Labrador retrievers. They are very intelligent and easy to train. Wow, I bet probably some of us in class might have a Labrador retriever as a pet, since they are very common dogs to have as pets as well. It sounds like they're also very intelligent. Guide dogs can be big or tiny. So this looks like a tiny guide dog. He'll probably be big someday though. Here it says a family of trainers. A puppy like Mickey stays with a family for at least 1 year. The family plays with it and feeds it. They help the puppy stay healthy and teach the puppy a lot. Here it says each puppy has checkups at the vet. So it looks like this vet is checking on the puppy to make sure he is nice and healthy. And here it says fact: 10,000 people in the US and Canada use guide dogs. Wow, 10,000 people need guide dogs. We know that is a very important job that guide dogs do. Here it says each puppy learns how to act nicely with people and with other animals. The family gets the dog used to a lot of tasks and settings. Puppies may visit many kinds of places in the city. They go to homes and shops. Here it says every dog must be trained by itself. And here it says this dog watches its favorite team. Learning new tasks. As time goes by, the dogs are trained how to go across the street. The dog stays right near the trainer. It learns to stop at a red signal. This will help the dog safely lead a person who cannot see the traffic. Fact: guide dogs are allowed in restaurants, stores, schools, any place a person can go. And here it says in this picture, this guide dog learns to cross a street. Up here it says some guide dogs can be trained to help a man or a woman who cannot move or walk. He or she might need help with a lot of hard tasks both inside and outside the home. Up here it says a dog can be trained to get an elevator and to reach objects. So this dog is standing up on its hind legs to press the button to get an elevator. It looks like this dog is helping its owner get items off the shelf at the grocery store. Here it says eyes and ears. Some dogs are trained to help people who cannot hear. If the dog hears a bell ringing or a yell, it would lightly tug or poke the person with its nose. Here it says a dog can be taught to alert its owner to sounds. Fact: guide dogs should not be bothered while working. So When guide dogs are with their owners, they are working. They are doing a very important job to help their owners. So it's important to not bother those dogs while they are doing their important job of helping their owners that need them. Here it says, ready to guide. Training a puppy for a year is not an easy job. Owners may call or write to thank the family that raised their puppy. Training a guide dog helps a lot of people.
All right, firsties, I hope you enjoyed learning about guide dogs and how dogs can help people. I'm really amazed by what guide dogs can accomplish. While you're completing the pages in your turn workbook, remember those different spelling patterns that make the long E sound at the end of words. So some words that end in Y, like puppy, end in the long E sound, and some words that end in EY, like key, end in the long E sound. And remember that your parents can always reach me on Remind or with my email if they have any questions. So if you don't feel comfortable asking questions, let your parents ask me. And if you do feel comfortable asking questions, please ask those questions to me when we meet on Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. for our live Google Hangout. I can't wait to see all of your faces on Wednesday, and I hope we have an even bigger group of students this week. I hope you all had a great weekend, and I hope you're all looking forward to a great week ahead. Bye.